Oh, hi there. Welcome to day 8.
Can we get much higher? So high. Can we get much higher? So high. Can we get much higher?
So day 8 started leaving North Haven. It was a bit sad because it was our first camp kitchen, so got fond memories. And we sort of just pulled up to this place and we just thought, let's go for a bit of a walk. And it's a bit of a bonding experience, I thought. And we there's a bit of a cliff, so Doopy didn't want to go too close, but he was alright.
There's a fair few big waves, but it was a long way down, so of course I wasn't really inclined to look down there.
Our destination for the day was Coffs Harbour. Now, we thought it was real hot in the morning though, so we thought we'd go for a swim before we did too much driving while the weather was still good. So we went to a little place called Rainbow Beach, and that was a really nice beach. And we went for a little bit body surf.
Paddy and Lee went off and dug a sand trench for unknown reasons, and Andy got involved in that for a bit, I think.
And Lee's just walked off for a bit, and then he just started sort of digging a little trench, because there was like a bit of a flow coming out of somewhere, all the way up back in the dunes, and he wanted to sort of build a wall and divert the path of this water. And I was like, yeah, alright, I'll help you do that. And it was just a real good experience. It was like we were little engineers.
If I had to give that beach a face, it would be this.
And then when we were leaving there, we were like, oh, let's crack open some chips. And then we were like, oh, Dupe, we'll have these in our car, so you can take a few now. And then Dupe just basically put one hand in, grabbed half the packet, and then ate it in one hand.
Yeah.
And then we drove through Port Macquarie, saw a couple of cool beaches.
Oh, it's a beach! No!
Because I like looking at beaches. So what?
He's not happy with that beach. Just doesn't like it. Oh, he's just gone with it. He's just gone away from the beach. And he could have just got bearded in that beach, in that little beach, but he's just gone away from it. He's not happy and... Oh, he's just gone away.
Extraordinary setup around the coastline.
Might pick up some property. Then we got to stop at Tacking Point where there was a really cool lighthouse. It was a really windy day and it was blowing so hard you could almost like lean forward at a 45-degree angle to the wind.
And it was real windy, I remember, like you had to get into one specific position to get out of the wind.
I think we all got some pictures in front of that, and we're all pulling the Dupe ones.
And then we thought we were going to go back to the car, but we saw there was these steps leading down to this, looked like a beach sort of area. And then we went down, it was just all rock, but there was just this huge rock. It was enormous. And Lee just ran up there, like, hasn't consulted any safety guidelines. Just ran up there and, of course, being lowbrow as he is, he's taken his pants down to his ankles, and we don't need to go further into that.
Yes.
Coming up, probably not. Oh, I think you would.
And then we all went out on those rocks, and then we were sitting on there for a bit looking out at the ocean. It was a real good view.
You sort of set up. There you go, Dope.
We were on the road again and we thought we need to have a place to get lunch. sort of look for a little park. We found this place. It was like, you know, a good sports field and parking space. So we had a bit of lunch.
Well, I think we had some lunch at Kempsey, had some jam sandwiches or something. It'd be a classic ECRT sort of diet. Had a bit of a sort of a carnival, although in small proportions, on the oval there. I wasn't really competing, I was a bit more of an official. There was a bit of a 100 metre sprint. Are they ready? It was me versus Lee versus Paddy, and it was real close the whole way, I reckon. I reckon less than a metre in it. And Paddy ended up winning by a whisker, I would say. And then I was second, and then Lee was third.
And the race was won by P-Fish 4, followed by the North, followed by the 133. And then we thought, let's do another activity. And it was a vortex throw. And the results of this were some very sore arms.
Then I sort of came into my own in the vortex throwing competition. I dominated that.
And Will Scutt won that one, I believe. He's got a real good arm. And Lee was second, or I was second, I don't remember. But Paddy was last.
And Nort wanted to do a 200 metre, but no one wanted to do that. So, then we left Kempsey.
Pulled into a rest area on the highway, Paddy's rest area or something it was called, and we thought, Paddy? That's the same name as Paddy. I mean, we've got to see this place, but it was just a rest area.
So then we left there, and then we back on the road.
No, I'm not dancing.
Yeah, you're a bit of dope dancing.
Did you get any of it so far?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So then we went to Coffs Harbour, and I was really excited to see the big banana because I used to ride down there in the toboggan when I was like 10 or something. And we got there, and I don't know, for one reason or another, we didn't stop there.
And at the time I was thinking, well, we've gone to a lot of beaches today, Lee's looking for another beach. I think Lee's taking over the ECRT for himself. I was like, gee whiz, Lee's. Look, yesterday when it was raining, today again for beaches. Are we going to go to beaches every day? And I was like, oh boy, this is going to have to be a bit cross. But we got to see the big banana, so that calmed me down. And then we're like, oh, where are we going to stay tonight? And then, I don't know, someone suggested Mooney Beach, and everyone was like, yeah, Mooney Beach, that's cool. So then we went to Mooney Beach, and we played What?
And that was a real good set of setup. Mooney Beach had a nice like river, and we set up camp in this great camp spot.
I'm fed up with you already, Paddy. Oh, too much of this. That was the actual words.
That wasn't great.
I assumed it was already broken, but it...
No, he said it was flimsy enough to just break, but it seems to not be.
I went on a mission to go get some Indian takeaway from the local shops. So I came back, and the boys were all jealously looking at me because I had a nice lamb korma and in one hand and a mango lassi in the other hand, and the guys were just eating dry wheat bix and 2-minute noodles, and I felt like a king.
Andy attempted to download Survivor, but he couldn't, unfortunately. So much to Will's delight, everybody else's, I don't know, shame, I suppose, we couldn't watch it. So that was disappointing. So we decided to play Survivor for ourselves.
Survivor, Mooney Beach.
The final three was me, Fane, and the Nort. And I think I won immunity. I thought, do I want to be loyal to my alliance? That's Andy. Or do I take through the GOAT? That's Kale.
Paddy beat KO in the finale. Because he'd come back from Redemption Island, of course, as you'd suspect or expect.
My best on for today goes to Paddy Fisher for winning Survivor Mooney Beach.
Liam, for organising Survivor, I thought that was really good setup, and it went off without a hitch, I'd say.
Paddy Fisher for winning Survivor, Mooney Beach.
Paddy for winning Survivor.
Fish for, because not only did he win the big sprint at Kempsey, but he also won Survivor.
My best song goes to Paddy Fisher. He had a real winning sort of day.
I'm going to give worst on Will Scott because he didn't put any effort into the Survivor.
I mean, he should have really just tested the waters and just gone for the 100-metre sprint, I reckon.
First one goes to Will Scott for not liking Survivor and not wanting us to download Survivor to watch on this day.
Do it. Because he was first out in Survivor, and to lose to someone like Will Scott, who hates Survivor, bags it out all the time, that's my brow.
And my worst one goes to Andy for being poor car company and sleeping in the car.
Hale Johnston, who was delusional when we were playing Survivor Mooney Beach and thought I wasn't really doing anything, when in fact I masterminded his exit and was in control for basically up until the end of the game.